is a non-violent civil resistance campaign that started in February 2024 by a group of Just Stop Oil students. And from the start of the campaign, it's had two demands of the British government. One focused on the genocide in Palestine, which we've watched unfold after over the last year and a half or so, and one which has been focused on the climate crisis. And in order to achieve these policy demands, we've engaged in a series of disruptive actions of civil disobedience. This includes spraying up the Labour headquarters, the Ministry of Defence, and most recently, obviously, Glasgow University. But we've also given Keir Starmer's house a visit, took in Sunak's Lake. We've blocked Oxford Circus, Marble Arch, Waterloo Bridge. We've stuck a painting of a Palestinian mother and child on Picasso's motherhood painting, as well as last November engaging in a week-long action phase of disruptive protest in 5 cities across the country, which got us front-page press. But we're not done.
What are we going to do to make this happen? We're going to resist. Right, in November, we swarmed 5 UK cities for a week. We had over 400 people taking part. In April, we bring those cities for London and swarm the capital day after day after day for a month straight. Right, we're going to shut it down. We're going to bring hundreds of people to London to swarm the city. And those of you that have been out on our actions before, you probably know what a swarm is, but for those of you that don't, a swarm is essentially a temporary roadblock. Right, so we're going to split people, the hundreds of people that are going to come down each week, into small teams of people. So we're going to have 15 people, small teams of roughly 15 people, and they'll be in a group chat together. And they will meet. They'll go to make their way to a major junction or a big road. They will block the road, and then after 15 minutes or so, they will disperse. They'll reconvene at another location, and they'll go and do it again, and they'll do it again, and they'll do it again. And on big days within this action campaign, we want to have over 10 teams of people out across London shutting the city down. That's resistance, right? That's not protest. That's putting our bodies on the line, grinding the gears of the machine to a halt until we force the government to meet our demands. And we're going to ramp up the pressure through doing this, right? One of our smaller youth demand, there was a freedom of information request, and one of our smaller youth demand actions in the summer cost the Met Police £25,000. And that was a small action in one place and one time, right? That's easy for them to deal with. In April, we're looking at dozens of 10 teams of people out doing this every single day for a month. We're looking at costing the police millions of pounds, right? And this disruption, this cost, puts the pressure on the government to meet our demands, right? We're not protesting, we're not protesting to show we're not happy. We're resisting to show our government cannot get away with evil. We're going to do everything we can to stop you. That's resistance. So, final thing I want to say on the strategy, on how this is going to pan out, is that this strategy is designed to be non-arrestable. Right? It's designed so that we disperse before the police come onto the scene, and when we've done a roadblock. With 10 teams across the city, it's going to be difficult, very, very difficult for them to keep track of all of this and go, make their way to all of the teams. But we know that if this begins to go well, and we do bring hundreds of people down to London, as we're going to do, then the Met Police are going to get a bit agitated. Right? They're going to do what they always do when people try and effectively resist the government, which is they're going to arrest people. They're going to arrest people, they're going to make arrests, they'll try and shut it down, they'll impose sections. But we know we're engaging in resistance against evil. Right? That's what we know. So when the police make arrests, we're not just going to immediately dash off the road. Right? We're not just going to pack up the action campaign, call it a day and leave. Right? And say, no worries, someone's got arrested, so we're going to be, it's over now, we're going to call it off. Right? If people get arrested, that means we know we're doing well, we know they're scared, and we're going to carry on. And we'll carry on swarming day after day after day, because that's our responsibility at this time in history against a genocidal government. So, practicalities, what's this going to look like? It's a 4-week campaign. We're going to split the country up into four different regions, or four different groups of cities, and they're going to come down. That's how we're going to stagger it to cover it for the whole month. So first, the London teams are going to go and shut down London. And it's going to be like a big initial week to get things moving. Secondly, Cambridge, Falmouth, Exeter, and people that don't have a local group, they're going to come to London. The third week, we've got Manchester, Leeds, and Sheffield coming down. And then the final week of action is London. The London teams again, kicking us off once we had a 3-week campaign to really hit it home. And what this will look like in a week for people that come down to London to take part in this campaign is there's going to be 5 days of action per week. So there'll be 2 days off throughout the week, spread throughout the week, so that people can rest and rejuvenate and have some time to spend time with other people. And then 5 of the days will be on, and they'll be swarming in the morning. Swarms will finish around lunchtime. We'll go to a venue. We'll have some lunch together, and then there'll be lots of activities and trainings in the afternoon. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it exciting. And for anyone that's coming outside of London, there's going to be accommodation. You have a free place to stay for the whole week.
You just have to be willing to stand up for them and say, do what you want to me, I still will stand up for what I think is right. And yeah, so I'm still fighting them on the campus ban. I'm getting people rallying behind me. The union is super supportive. The student body is super supportive. So I'm still hoping that I'll still be able to finish my degree. So it's not as if I've been kicked out straight away. So yeah, I'm still fighting, and yeah, I'm so happy that I did it, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I'll probably do it again.
It just feels so good to it's not you have to sit on a road and just be like, F you, I'm not moving. That is just such a great experience, but also it's works, and I think both of those things intersecting just make it kind of a perfect solution in some ways. And I think something Mont said that really resonated with me was the students coming up to us and being like, what can we do? And one thing that Mont said when we were, Mont is another name for Hannah, they said to a student, a student was like, oh, won't you get repercussions for this? And Mom was like, yeah, we'll get arrested, and we'll probably there'll be repercussions in uni. But if 100 people did this, they couldn't kick us all out. And that is such a resounding sentiment that I've felt. It's just the more people that do this, the better chances we have. One person standing in front of a building yelling at it is crazy. 1,000 people are right, and unless they're right wing, but we'll move away from that. But it's just so important that more people do this, and there's so many ways to get involved.